Hi, welcome to my tutorial series Essential Blues Guitar. My name is Markus Fleischer. This video will be about bending notes on the guitar. I'm going to show you the three most common forms of bending. That is 1. The whole tone bend, 2. The half tone bend, and 3. The microtonal bend. We're going to look at those bends in great detail, how to phrase them, how to articulate them, how to execute them, and how to avoid some of the most common mistakes people do when bending notes. I prepared a very slow, nice sounding blues lick in A for you that incorporates all of those three bends so you can play with me and you can learn while we go along in this video. I'm going to play this example in a minute, but before I do that, let's talk about the 4 most important things we have to pay attention to when we execute bendings or when we transcribe bendings from our idols. Those are 4 very simple things that get overlooked quite easily. So let's start. First, a bend has always a starting note. And that sounds very simple and we take that for granted, but believe me, that is where lots of mistakes happen already with a starting note. And then second, there is the target note. So the note, the pitch you are bending to. So the third thing is the time between the starting note and the pitch you are bending to. How much time do you give the bend and what happens in this time? Is it a slow linear bend or are you starting slowly and then speeding it up? So that's an interesting aspect of bending notes. The fourth thing is overlooked quite a lot, and that is you're done bending, but what happens after the bend? Let me show you our example. It's a slow 12/8 feel blues lick in A. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Again. 2, 3, 4. This lick starts with a whole tone bend from the G on the B string in the 8th fret. We bend that up to an A. Then there's a half tone bend on the G string, 7th fret. And then there's a microtonal bend in the 5th fret G string. Then we arrive on an A on the D string, 7th fret. Let me do that again. Let's look at this first whole tone bend on the B string. And as I said in the introduction, the first aspect of a bend is the starting note. So the starting note is a G on the 8th fret B string. And you have to make sure that you're not bending the string already. That's what's happening lots of times because people have tension in their left hand, for instance, and they think they start on the G, but actually they are already bending the string a little bit. So it sounds like this or something. So make sure that you have a relaxed hand, that you're not already bending the string before even starting the bend. And then you bend to the target note. And our target note is 2 frets up. Whole tone bend. This is our target note here, right here. So whole tone is 2 frets up. So we bend to this target note. As I said in the introduction, there's the time that this bend takes. So if you arrive quickly at the target note, or too quickly I should say, there's actually no sense doing a bend, because we want to hear the beautiful notes in between, you know, bending up. We want to hear how the pitch goes up. So you have to give this bend time so we can hear this pitch going up. If you do, so you arrive there quickly, you might as well do this. So give your bend time. This bend is not a linear bend. I'm starting slowly, and right at the end I'm speeding it up. Listen. That's nice, actually. What happens after the bend? This bend should be stopped just before arriving at the target note. Listen. And then we have this E note, 5th fret, B string. What people sometimes do is they bend up, and then for them the bend is over and they lose the focus in the bend. So it goes up and then goes down a little bit. And that's a sound we don't want. It's really bad. You know, you're holding the bend, but you're kind of not holding the pitch anymore, so it goes down and it's kind of in between and it's going nowhere. So make sure to be clear what is happening after the bend. After this bend, first of all, the note is stopped on right at the highest part of the bend, and then there's another note. So and how do I stop this whole thing? I do it in two ways at the same time. I'm putting my thumb of the right hand on the string to stop the sound. And also I stop it with my left hand, with, you know, just not fretting the string anymore. Okay, now let's look at the halftone bend on the G string. Starting note is the D on the G string, 7th fret. We're bending up to our target note, that it is a half note higher, and that is on the guitar 1 fret up. So this is the target note, this is the starting note. And now we have to take a closer look on what happens after we get to that bend, because with this bend it's different. We're going up, then we go back to the starting note. And here it is very important that you land on this D again and your hand is relaxed, that you're not in between. Let me show you how you should not do it, and that's like this. You know, you're kind of in between. You have to really make sure that you land on the D. And then let's take a closer look at this microtonal bend. It's with the first finger on the G string, 5th fret. And the microtonal bend means that micro step, so you're not bending to a real note in our 12-tone system. You're not bending up to this note, you're just bending it a little bit in between notes. So it's not, no, it's a little bit. You give it a little push, a little bit, yeah, I like to say you give the note an extra energy and some movement, and then you land on this root note. So some people bend up here in the sense that the finger goes up. If you go up or down with the finger, it doesn't matter. Wire gets tighter and the pitch goes up. So whatever you feel comfortable with, I like it here to go with the finger in this direction, because then I have an easier time to play this root note after that. So let me do this whole lick again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, again. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, those are the 3 most common bends you will experience and hear and use playing the blues and of course other styles of pop music. Often you hear people say, yeah, the blues has 5 notes and then there are some blue notes and stuff. But I think it's a little bit more detailed than that and super interesting, because I always tell my students that the blue notes are kind of dynamic notes. They are going somewhere or coming from somewhere. They are not static, like this is a blue note. Rarely do you hear. Most of the time it's they are going somewhere or coming somewhere pitch-wise, dynamic notes. So that's how I hear it, and that helps me to use those bends and those blue notes in a logical way in my playing. What I see sometimes with beginners, that they push the string. That means they do it like this. The thumb is not up here, it's behind the neck, like it should be actually when you play like classical guitar and other intricate stuff, scales. It's really a good thing to have the thumb behind the neck, but you have to have something to push against when you do those bends. And if you have your thumb behind the neck, it's really hard to get this power into the bends. You have to position your thumb on the side of the neck, and really the movement is that it's like squeezing the neck together. So the fingers go up, the hand does this actually. So you're pushing with the thumb and the fingers against that. And also there's a wrist movement. Check it out. My wrist goes like this. Somebody said it's like turning the doorknob. I like that association, that picture. So thumb should be up. you have to be careful. Some people do it too much. If you do it like this and your neck is, really in close contact with the palm of your left hand, that can be a problem depending on how your hand is built, because you do not have enough room to move your hand. It's kind of stuck with the neck, and that makes it a lot harder for most people. So thumb should be on the side of the neck, but not too much, maybe. I have small hands. I have to be really careful about those things. Other people with big hands, maybe they can get away with the thumb being more over the neck. But if you have problems bending notes, look at this little detail. Where's your thumb? And then there's a problem with dampening the rest of the strings. Let me show you what happens if you do not dampen the strings. You bend up and you release the bend, and then you hear this G string, because you were touching the G string, and then you go down and the G string makes a noise. So there are two ways to remedy this problem. One is to have your right hand dampening the strings you do not use. And the other thing is that you can position your first finger in this way, so the G string is dampened. Also, to get more stability in the left hand, I tend to, I always say, glue the fingers together. Meaning, I don't bend like this. I find a hand position so all three fingers are touching each other. And they are building like this little compact hand position where they help each other a little bit with the bend. Of course, here it's not possible, but it's a tiny bend. You don't need so much power. Yeah, that's the most important tips actually for executing those bends. Of course, there are other types of bends like 1.5 notes and more, but I suggest really working on the whole tone bend, the half tone bend, and the microtonal bend until you've got them down. Those are the most important ones, and there are lots of variations to do those three bends, especially what happens after the bend. Are they stopped or do they go back? Maybe you have a pre-bend situation. So there's a lot of nice things you can do with those three bends. I hope you like this quick start video on bending notes in the blues. I have some other videos on very different topics, from guitar technique to rhythm guitar playing in blues music to other stuff. So subscribe to my channel so you will always be up to date to all the tutorials and performance videos. Have fun with bending notes. Goodbye and take care.